Hey guys! So, welcome back to my channel. Today I am camping, and so I'm filming in my bedroom right now in the cabin. So, um, I am going to teach you how to make a cardboard oven out of just a cardboard box. And we are going to be baking an apple crisp in the spirit of fall. So please go check out my Instagram down below. It will be linked in the description box. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet down below. So without further ado, let's go make the cardboard oven. So we are going to start by making the cardboard oven. So things you're going to need for this are a cardboard box, and mine says it is 10 by 10 by 10, and you're going to want to keep the flaps on this. Just take the box as normal. Don't do anything else with it. You're also going to need a roll of aluminum foil, and you'll see why later, along with the reason we have the flaps on. And you're going to need some metal coat hangers.
You're also going to need a fire pit because we're going to be using the coals of the fire as our heat source.
So the first thing you're going to do is you are going to take your box, flaps to the front, and you're going to put 3 holes on each side, just the sides of the oven, not the back. So here I have my pan to line up because we're going to use these holes for the metal hangers, which are going to be our oven racks. So we're going to put 1 hole on each side of the container and 1 hole in the middle. So I'm going to start by puncturing the hole in the middle, show you guys how I'm doing this. And I'm doing this with a pocket knife because we're camping, so... And then I'm going to line up the other ends and just sort of make a little indent. And I'll be back once I am done with it. So your next step is to line your box with tinfoil. So you can see over here, we have another box lined for you guys to see. So we are first going to take our tinfoil and just going to sort of put it inside the box and put it over the flaps. And we have it on its bottom right now because that's just that's the easiest way to line it. So we're putting it in like that, and no tape is necessary. We're just patting it down in there. And this will just let the heat stay in and prevent the box from catching on fire. So we're putting it in like that. And then we're going to take our next piece and cross it over the other side, doing the exact same thing as we just did. So just like that, and yes, this clip is sped up. So if you guys were wondering, this is definitely sped up. So yeah, so we're just lining it up. And remember, no tape. We're just trying to make sure, first off, tape will melt in your food. So yeah. So we're just doing the same thing again over the other piece. That way we have multiple layers in there, because it's important that you have that. Multiple layers. And then, so yeah, we're just sort of lining the flaps like this. And we're just showing other people what the holes are supposed to be for, so he's doing that real quick. And then we are going to take another piece of foil. Yes, this takes a lot of foil. And we're going to be making we're going to be laying it again on the opposite side. So the first side we did, we're put another layer on that side. Again, multiple layers is necessary here. So just lining it up like that. And then the next piece we are going to do is gonna be like an inner ring. So we're just going to take a piece of foil and we're going to line it across the inside. So not like the outside, you'll see here. We're just sort of going along the inside. You can take another piece and finish that off. So now we're going to be taking our metal coat hangers and poking them through the holes on each side of the box that we created earlier. So we're just going to take our hangers and put it through the box. You can see here it's going through, and these hangers will act as our oven racks. And it should hopefully come out the other side, as long as your holes are even enough. So we're just putting them in. And this is going to be the part where the trays rest on. So there it is on the other side. So you're going to be doing this to all 3 of your holes. And So we're just about to bend the hanger. We're going to bend it so that way it stays in the box and doesn't slide out. Because if it was just straight, then it would slide out. Just gonna bend it. And then we're gonna do the same to the other side, except we're gonna need some wire cutters. So we're gonna go get those, and then we're gonna bend it and cut it. So now we have our wire cutters. So we are cutting the hanger right now. And if you need to, you can return to this clip so you can repeat the steps through the other two holes. So you are going to repeat this for the other two holes, and this is what it looks like on the inside. So now we have finished making our oven rack by putting the 3 hangers through the 3 holes, and it actually looks like an oven rack, so it's really cute. So let's continue on by making the apple crisp.
So now that our ovens are finished, we're going to be making the apple crisp. The things you're going to be needing for this are a pan. We're going to use an aluminum foil pan. I'm going to have a couple of these. And that's only because we were making it in the cardboard ovens that we made earlier. You're going to need about 4 cups of apples, and they have to be peeled. So I have my apple peeling device here. And then you're going to need a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of sugar. Those are going to be mixed in with the apples. You're going to need about 5 tablespoons of softened butter. And then I just went to the store and bought some crisp topping, or you can look online and make some of your own. So now we're going to peel the apples. You can keep going. So I have my little apple device. You can use whatever you want. So I'm just going to, turn the thing the other way. I'm just going to turn it, and it takes the peel off and takes the core out. So you're just cut as many apples as you need. And then after this, I'm just gonna cut them, or I guess I'm gonna dice the apples for this one, because I actually want to dice the apples. So I'm gonna dice the apples after I do this. So once I'm finished with all this, I'm gonna dice the apples. Stop. So now that my apples are peeled, I'm just gonna start cutting them. Just like this, into smaller slices. And if you're peeling the apple with like a vegetable peeler, then you can just peel it, or cut it, you can cut it with like an apple slicer or something. That works just as well. I'm gonna add my sugar to my apples. And then I'm gonna add just a couple shakes of cinnamon, since there's already cinnamon in the topping. And I'm just gonna sort of mix it all together. And this is what flavors the apples. So this is where all the flavoring of your apples comes from. So make sure to mix it up nice and well, so that all our apples are flavored equally, and every slice tastes delicious. Okay, you can stop.
So now I'm going to divide my apples between a couple pans. And I actually realized after this that I needed more apples, but I'm going to show you anyways. So I'm just dividing this between a couple pans, and now that they're mixed together. And then once I divide them, I'm just going to spread them out between the pans. And that way they're evenly distributed, and you get a good amount of apples in every bite. So I'm just going to distribute these, and I'll be back to show you how I'm going to mix up the topping.
Now I have my crisp topping and my butter in a bowl, and my butter is softened. So now I'm just going to sort of mix it together. And obviously you don't want the butter to melt in this. It's just sort of going to be butter chunks at the end of it. So you're going to mix it until there's a bunch of butter chunks. And if you look over here, all my apples are mixed up nicely. I had to add more apples to it because I realized we didn't have enough apples at first. So we ended up using like 7 apples for 2 pans of this and 1 stick of butter. So I'm just going to continue mixing this, and I'll be back when it's done. So this is what it's supposed to look like when you're finished. You're supposed to have clumps of butter like this, and when you cook it, the butter will melt into the crisp topping, and it'll look really good at the end. So now I'm going to divide the apples and the crisp topping into pans. Now I've divided my apples and my crisp topping into 2 different pans, and I am just spreading the topping on top because that's the point. And then I am going to put this, we're gonna make sure our cardboard ovens are at 375 degrees and then we're gonna cook it for about 40 to 45 minutes or until, it looks okay to you. So we're gonna cook this in our cardboard ovens and I'll be back when we're gonna put it in.
So now we are going to put our apple crisp in our cardboard oven. So we have the coals from the fire at the bottom. So when we put this in, we're going to be really careful not to burn ourselves. So I have an adult putting this in there. And so we're just going to slide it partway through so we don't burn ourselves. And then use something to push it back more. So we have a piece of firewood here that we're using since we're out camping. So we're pushing it all the way back in there. And then we are going to close the flaps because the flaps are here to act as our oven door in this case. So we're going to let it stay in here for about 40 minutes. So we have now had our apple crisp in here for about 40 minutes. So you can see the coals at the bottom and their heat source seem to work pretty well. You can sort of see the apple crisp and how it cooked pretty well. Some of the topping's still dry, but that's actually okay. The topping doesn't have to be completely wet from the butter. You can always add more butter if you have that issue. But you can see this seemed to work pretty well in my opinion.
Oh, so now I'm going to be trying this apple crisp that we made. It looks so good. So let's dig it. Get on the oven. Really good.
Hey guys, so I just wanted to end the video back at home since I'm already back from the camping trip and I did not get a chance to do my outro at the camping trip. So in just a second, after I end this, I'm going to be putting some clips from the camping trip. But first, please give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more DIY tutorials like the cardboard oven. And also give this video a thumbs up if you think the apple crisp looks good or it tastes good if you tried it. And so please subscribe down below. Check out my Instagram, which will be linked in the description box. And let's get on with the clips. Bye, guys.